Hi, this is Melissa from the Messy Bun Mamas podcast, and I want to talk to you today about Anchor. This app, let me be real honest, is basically lifesaver. Um, I got the random idea, on a Tuesday that I wanted to try and hit up my mom friends and try and get a podcast going, and Anchor has made it so smooth. I downloaded this app, at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, got my plug and play microphone, and we were able to go in, record. We had a high quality recording, and it turned out great. And I didn't have to take any of the tutorials or anything like that. So, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's a safe and easy way to make a podcast. It's also free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, which is amazing. So I don't have to feel like a failure if nobody listens to me talk. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. For example, we just recorded our first episode, and I was already able to go in and remove something really stupid that I said. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is the Messy Bun Mamas podcast.
So we just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about ourselves. Again, I'm Michelle, and I am a wife and a mama. I am a stay-at-home mama, and I'm also an entrepreneur. I like to delve into all kinds of things. I have lots of good stories about how I became a mama at the age of 40. And I also have just lots of good stories about being a mom and a wife to two interesting guys. Just a little glimpse into our life. This week, my husband has been working on our front room, and we had bought a nice kind of like shag. I call it a shag carpet. I'm sure it has a totally different name now, but it's super soft and fluffy.
I would call that shag for sure. We're going to call that shag because I feel like there's no other word for like a carpet that is like that. It's a shag carpet. There's probably a more modern word for it.
Exactly. That's what I'm.
No.
I was talking to my husband. I'm like, I'm very sure there's a different name for this, but
more bougie name.
Right.
No,
it's a shag carpet. And right now, we currently are not leaving it down. Like if we go upstairs to bed or we leave the house, because we have a dog that is diabetic and sometimes she pees in the house. So we take and we put it up. Well, Joe had gotten it out, my son, because he likes to lay down on it and make snow angels. And he just lays there. He just lays there and he's just, oh, this is so soft. Come do this with me. Come do this with me. And he had gotten up and walked away and was doing something else. Well, my husband came in and he started to pull stuff away from the wall so he could paint a wall in the room. And in order to do it, he had to pick up the carpet. And probably about 5 minutes into him starting to paint, Joe walks into the living room and he says, first of all, he puts his hands on his hips. He says, Daniel O'Brien, what did you do? Where is the rug? We just laughed. I mean, that's just sincerely a little glimpse into our life with a 4-year-old who thinks he's in charge of us.
But let's be honest, they basically are. I feel like low-key, all parents are just like, I'm the one in charge, but then like we like deep down, we know the truth.
Right, like last night. Yesterday, do you want to take a nap, Joe? No. Okay. Like, whatever.
They push you to the point of, I just don't want to argue with you anymore. Right. All right. So I am Melissa. I am in my very early 30s, which I hate saying because that makes me feel ancient.
Not even close.
I know. I'm married. I have 4 kids. I have I have an 18-year-old named Belinda, a 7-year-old named John, a 3-year-old named Malcolm, and a 1-year-old named Rayla. Before we get too wrapped up in doing the math of I had to be 12-year-old to have my 18-year-old, I'm just going to let you know that she's definitely my bonus kid. I acquired her through marriage. Every time I tell people I have an 18-year-old, I can see like the shock on their face of just like, how old are you?
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, I feel like you didn't listen to what I said after I told you I had an 18-year-old.
Your brain shut down and started to do your own math.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to do the math for you. Okay, so there we can move on now. Okay, so I have my MBA. I actually would prefer to be a career student if I was rich.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's like so great.
I would just sit and learn all day long. Yes.
And I think that one of the reasons that I would like it is because I like intellectually arguing with people.
Yes.
I mean, I can argue about which is better, Taco Bell or McDonald's, all day long.
Right.
But I don't feel like that like fuels the the smarty pants in me.
You don't go to bed sad. No. It's fine at the end of the night.
No, I want to talk about, syllogism and like whatever. And I still don't know what that word means. I just remember my 10th grade literature teacher standing in front of our class going, syllogism, guys, syllogism. Yeah. So I am actually a project manager at a construction company. We do architectural millwork, which is just basically like woodwork, cabinetry, whatever, which just means that I know way more about trees than I ever feel like a human needs to know. I'm very close to my family, both my original family and the one that I created. And I live in a world of constant chaos, but I don't think I would have it any other way.
I was going to say, I think we all do. Yeah. No matter with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
Well, and to be honest, like, I think that it's really funny because I look at my life before I had any kids and I feel like I was really busy. And like, I know that it was like more of a sense of like filler time. Like, it would be Saturday and my husband and I would be like, I mean, this is dating or married or whatever. We would just be like, we live in Wisconsin, so there's not an enormous amount of things to do, but there still is some stuff to do. Milwaukee and Madison even have, right. I mean, even Waukesha, sometimes you can find something. You just have to look.
Some events, right?
Exactly. So like one time we were just, let's Google what there is. And there was a Comedy Central taping downtown for, a stand-up, and we just like went.
Right. So just got up and went, right?
And like looking back, I'm just like, wow, what a magical time that was. Just being able to make the decision of like, we're just gonna randomly just like at 2 p.m. on a Saturday, we're just gonna buy some tickets and head downtown. Like,
I honestly feel like my husband still lives in that world. Like, he'll come downstairs and he'll be like, let's do all of this today. And I'm like, wait.
Would you like to chain up Joe in the basement? Right. I mean, I guess we can do that, but it might be frowned upon.
Right. We do need to ask permission from our 4-year-old first.
That's very true. All right. So I kind of, in the interest of kind of giving you a little more of a glimpse into our life, was there anything that was a monumental mom moment for you this week besides the rug one? I feel like the rug one definitely was. This paints the personality of my child.
I mean, he keeps us definitely going. But I think one of the most special things to me is that I have created a human being that loves to love on me. and because my husband, when I first married him, I would just randomly say, I love you. And one time he said to me, it really makes me nervous how much you say I love you. But now I've created a human being that like gives me back what I give out. And it's just amazing. And so it was just a special moment to me when he came to me and he took my hands between my face this week and he said, Mama, I love you. And I can't love Dad because I love you so much.
You're like, yeah, you do.
and it's hard because I want to laugh. And then I also want to be like, call my husband and be like, right. But then like just the sincerity on his face, it makes me all mushy too at the same time. So
that's really, so I am a very like, and my family was like this too. Like my mom and my dad and my brother, like we are very habitual I love youers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we say it like 4,000 times a day.
Yes.
Like. And the thing is like my husband, they're just not necessarily, I mean, they all love each other or whatever, but they're just not, that obviously was not somebody's love language.
Right.
Where, saying I love you.
They're not so like verbal about
exactly.
it. Right.
So like he tells me like on the regular, like, I feel like you say it so much, it just means nothing now.
Oh.
And like me, I'm driving around with my kids, we're going to the grocery store, and I'm just like, hey guys, they're just looking out the window, and they're just like, yeah. I'm like, I love you. And they're just like, we love you too. And I'm like, yeah, you do. You do.
Yes, you do. Because that's the way I made you.
Tell me again. So, my mom highlight of the week is, it's kind of a sad one, but it's a very like monumental mom moment. I feel like we are taking our crib down and getting rid of it today. Aww. Yeah. So we've actually had, so we've had the same crib for all three kids, younger kids. I haven't hoarded a crib since I was, 12. But
every girl's dream.
I know, right? And so we have used the same crib, and actually because of I'll say because of COVID, we'll just blame everything on COVID.
Everything's on COVID.
Everything's on COVID.
2020.
Right. Hashtag thank God it's over. Rayla has kind of stayed in our bedroom a little longer than we would have preferred. Because, Belinda, obviously, she has to split homes because such as life. But so Belinda's been here a lot more often. So she's like definitely needed her space. Mm-hmm. So our original intention was to like kind of have them share a room. But like when she's here 50 to 75% of the time, I don't really feel like it's fair to be like, hi, 18-year-old, hang out with your 1-year-old sister.
Right.
I mean, it definitely would, I feel like, be an organic form of birth control.
Especially if it's like a 5 or 6 a.m. morning wake up.
Right.
Yeah.
But, because of that, we've wanted to give Belinda a little bit more individuality. And I mean, she painted her room orange, which by the way, I'm super salty about because I've lived in this house for 10 years and all I wanted was to paint a wall. And my husband was just like, we're not going to paint a wall. Like, it's beige. Beige goes with everything. But of course,
yes,
Belinda moves in like basically full time, because school let out. So we had a lot more flexibility of, her being here more
where
often.
She wanted to be. Sure.
He lets her paint the walls orange. Not like a subtle like peach. It's like dreamsicle orange up there.
Oh my goodness.
And the whole time we're painting that room, I'm just like all sorts of salty because I'm just like,
I just wanted a soft blue in my living room.
Right? Not an accent wall, man. That's all I wanted. I'm not asking for like you to take feathers and like and pleat the no, I was obviously that's some repressed trauma. So we're taking the crib down today because my mom bought the boys bunk beds for Christmas And so they're going to be in bunk beds, and it's been really hard for me, honestly, because I feel like, I mean, I'm 31 and my husband is 41, and I just turned 31, like, not even a month ago. So I'm, just to be clear,
I'm not that old.
I'm not that old. And I feel like it's such a nail in the coffin almost when you get rid of your crib. And I mean, I know you can buy another crib or whatever, but you know, Mike is very active with the kids. Not like he goes on 5-mile runs with them, but like he likes getting on the floor with them. He likes playing blocks. He likes wrestling with the boys, and he doesn't want his quality of parenting to go down in his mind by continuing to have more kids into older age. And I think, and he said before, like he also wants to be around for his grandkids, and he wants to be around, you know, for, he doesn't want to miss those parts of life, which I think is really dramatic because like you had Joe in your 40s. So I feel like you just don't want any more kids. We're just trying to find excuses.
Right.
I mean, that's really what it is. So that's fine. But I wasn't done after Rayla, and I still don't fully feel resolved to be done. And I think is why getting rid of the crib is so like hard.
Feels like it's a finality thing.
Yeah, because it's just like, I mean, I also form like very unhealthy attachments to like things.
I'm there with you.
Yeah. Like I mean, I still have the shirt that I was wearing during my first kiss. It doesn't fit. It's like squirreled away in a box somewhere. It's not like I ever look at it, but it's like.
But it's there for you if you need like a good moment to pull out, sniff, feel it, remember the memories.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes. And it's just. So we're getting rid of our crib today, putting up the bunk beds. I mean, I feel like we've done a really good job with the boys transitioning, because who would have known that I raised 2 tiny humans who are attached to items with severe emotional attachment to items. I wonder how that happened. But so we've done a really good job, like all week long, of like warning them that, you know, this weekend we're taking the crib down or whatever, because so the crib is like one of those cribs, which, by the way, if you are looking into buying a crib, do not buy the one with the attached changing table.
Yes.
It is a horrible idea. You're never going to use it because it's this tiny little table that is fantastic if like you have a newborn.
Right.
But like, honestly,
a toddler.
What am I gonna do? Like my 2-year-olds, like even Rayla. So Rayla is 18 months old, and I mean Malcolm's 3.5. But both of them were in 3 and 4T clothes at like 18 months.
Right.
What am I like?
How do you wrestle that
exactly
in the middle of the night on one of the little small changing tables?
Exactly. And all it created was a stairway to crawl in and out of the crib prematurely. Because they could just go up on a changing table that was connected, and then like there's drawers on the front and there's like shelves on the side, so they would like stagger the drawers to use it as like, here's my obstacle course.
Because you also created smart kids. They're thinking through things while you're trying to sleep. And
well, and the thing is like John, I never had to worry about that with John. John crawled out of the crib one time when he was like 18 months old. I turned the crib around. Thanks, Gilmore Girls, for that tip.
Right.
And so the tall part was facing out, and John was just like, all right, never did it again. I had to pull that kid out of that crib when Malcolm went in there. And he was like 3.5 when Malcolm was born.
Oh my goodness.
He likes sleeping, and he likes his bed, and he's super lazy, so he doesn't want to get up. Like, he wants to be woken up, or he wants to be carried down the stairs. So Malcolm, in the time that he's had it, he's like, the drawers and the shelves are just a mess. Like, from him getting out of the crib and like sitting on the, we're gonna do air quotes, changing table, it's just like worn and like it's just garbage. Like and the thing is like we've had it for 7 years.
Right.
So I mean it's not
It's
I
done
feel
its
like it was
job.
a really good investment.
Right.
I mean I didn't buy it. But to those who did, thanks for the fantastic baby shower gift. So yeah, we're taking the crib down. So I'm probably gonna cry and be a hot mess at some point today. I am sure.
I would be right there with you. My husband did mention to me a couple weeks ago, maybe we should go ahead and sell the changing table. And like that just did my heart bad because even though, because I am 44 now, I'll be 45 in April. And like there's still like this little bit of hope in me that we could maybe give a brother or sister to Joe and I could have another baby. Because now that I'm into the parenthood thing, I feel like I could handle another baby
he's
better.
At a good age too.
He would be a good brother, yes.
Yeah.
And so like when he said that, like and he even said we hardly ever used it. Truth, that's a fact.
Me too. You know how many diapers I change on the floor? Like I don't
Floor
know what the point
bed.
of a changing table is, to be honest.
Wherever you can do it, right? But just like it's that finality of it's and he said the same thing. We could if you were to get pregnant, we could just buy a new one. And I'm like, I feel like we're just closing the door.
Yep,
So I understand totally where you are.
And that's true because it's like I mean we didn't get a changing table because we had the stupid one attached to the crib that didn't work and we never used. But it's just like, I mean, we've gotten rid of all of the infant car seats, all of the infant car seat bases, like everything. And the thing is like, I mean, I know that they expire over time or whatever, but I mean, I only have an 18-month-old. So all of the stuff that we got for her, like we still could use.
Right.
And it's just like, I mean, I'm selling all the baby clothes and it's just, I've kept everything because I think it's like my safety net. Yes. Just like, I'm going to keep every single piece of clothing that these boys wear because I'm going to have another kid.
Right.
And now that I've had a girl, it's just like, there's so many clothes everywhere. There's so many clothes. Like I brought all the clothes up and I was like, okay, we're going to go through them. And by all the clothes up, I mean, like, I thought that I brought all the clothes up. It definitely did not happen. So I brought up probably like 4 bins, like of those plastic, like bins.
Yeah, the big storage ones.
Yeah. And I was just like, all right, I did good. Well, I went downstairs to get the Christmas tree and I was like, oh, I look around and there's like at least 10 more bins of clothes. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh man. This is a much larger chore. Because the thing is like, how many times did you buy something nice for your kid and they wear it one time?
Right. Well, like, because like you said, with Malcolm and Rayla, they were, and Joe is the same way. Even just this last year, COVID, you know, the year of
Look
COVID.
at all the nice outfits I bought that you didn't wear.
He didn't, and very seriously, because like we went into shutdown in March, and he had just started to transition into like the 4T stuff. So I bought a bunch of nice, cute outfits I had gotten on clearance and stuff from Christmas. I have like 5 or 6 of them, all with tags on them. And but just in that year, like I say to people, he went from being just going into a 4T at that time. Now he's into a 5. And at this point, he's like, the clothes are starting to already get tight on him. I'm like, can you give me like a year to like save up money to get you new clothes, please?
Yeah.
And I mean, he went from like a size 9 to a size 13. So it's very hard. And I even think that some of my problem, because I'm getting better. I still struggle though when I give away clothes. I like go through them and I think, he looks so cute in that. Wouldn't it be great if I had another little boy and he looked just as cute in that? So it's very hard. I understand that emotional connection to things.
It's definitely So you know how I've gotten around that is I just keep their like Monumental outfits, and I've like cut them, and like into patches,
Mhm.
and I'm just like one day, when life slows down, I'll pull out my sewing machine and I'll make a quilt out of them.
When I'm 70, then I can,
I'm thinking at this point, like maybe when they graduate, that'll give me more than enough time.
Fingers crossed.
So, all right. Well, this short 3-minute intro has not been 3 minutes. So we just want to thank the people who have kind of asked us, to make something to, kind of get this started before we go live in February. Just to clarify, we are going to post Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Time in the future. Our first launch episode is going to be February 7th at 3 p.m. Central. And it is going to be about, do you put a pin in it? How you handle arguments and disagreements in front of your kids.
Do you fight with your spouse? The answer is yes. And no.
So we hope that we have kept your interest, and we hope to see you next time. And this is Messy Bun Mama's podcast.